Now back to the shutdown. Let's dive deeper on the travel trouble we're starting to see. David Spiro is joining us, National President of the Professional Aviation Safety Specialist Labor Union, and also with us, Julian Keel, an aviation expert and CEO of PointsPath. Julian, first tell us, which markets do you expect to be hit the most with these airline flight reductions? What do travelers need to know?
So as you heard in that report we just listened to, the regional flights are the key. The ones that are going to smaller towns, smaller cities, those are the ones being canceled. So just because you don't live in a big metro area doesn't mean you won't be affected. My advice, frankly, is twofold. One, if you don't have to go, don't. If you have an optional trip or you can move it, I would suggest taking a look at those refund options the airlines are offering, see if you can move it a couple of weeks forward. If you do have to go, because sometimes you do have to travel, I would look at booking a backup flight. And this is where your frequent flyer miles can really come in handy. Most U.S. airlines allow you to book and cancel a ticket with miles for free. The miles go right back into your account. So book a backup flight on another airline, not the same airline as your primary flight. If you're sitting on the runway ready to take off, pick up your phone, cancel that backup flight.
David, hundreds of flights have already been canceled. Dozens of airports across the country are impacted. Was this really the only safe solution with the ongoing staffing issues facing these air traffic controllers?
Anna, thank you for having me on. So I represent about 11,000 FAA employees that are not air traffic controllers, and they're burning the candle at both ends right now. They're having to come into work and not get paid. And they're in the process of rebuilding the new air traffic control system, coming in at 3 o'clock in the morning, working overtime. So they're fatigued as well. And anytime you change something in the aviation system, you introduce risk. And if you're causing employees to have to come in, working the candle at both ends, we can't hire new people now. That's frozen. So there's no pipeline of people coming into the system. There's no training that's going on out in Oklahoma City for critical electronic systems. And then we even have the aviation safety inspectors on the other side of the house that oversee the aviation industry. So there is so much happening. And the FAA's job, quite frankly, is to ensure that we have safe skies. And if this is the determination they made to make it happen, then so be it.
Julian, for passengers who are having flights canceled, what kind of recourse do they have? Do they get refunds, or should they expect to get refunds? And what about holiday times? Should people be booking flights now or holding off?
Yeah, the key when it comes to refunds is that an airline in their contract of carriage only guarantees that they'll get you from your origin to your destination. They don't guarantee how, and they don't guarantee when. So if you get delayed or canceled, even on a connecting flight, and you accept an alternate flight from your airline and they eventually get you there, you're not entitled to any sort of refund or compensation here in the U.S. There is an exception in Europe. If you're taking a flight to or from Europe, the European rules are different, then you can be compensated. So really think about it. If you get offered an alternate flight after a delay or a cancellation, you don't have to necessarily accept that offer. Contact your airline, phone, in person if you're at the airport, social media even. Make sure you're talking to the legitimate airline account on social media and see what the other options might be.
And when it comes to holiday travel, is now the time to book, or do you say, whoa, pump the brakes?
With any luck, this will all be over before the holidays, so I would still take a look at those options for the holiday travel if you haven't booked already. I always recommend track a flight, track the flights you'd be interested in, use the tools out there to see when the prices go up or down. Go ahead and book a good price if you find one. Don't book it in basic economy, because any other fare you can cancel and rebook if the price drops again.
Meantime, David, we know there were already shortages of air traffic controllers before this shutdown began. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said some of these staffers were already working 6 days a week to begin with. What is the issue? Why is that? And what do you think it means moving forward?
Oh, I can't speak to the controllers. My brother, Nick Daniels, is much better at talking about the staffing issues that happen with air traffic controllers. But the folks that stand right next to the air traffic controllers every day, the electronics technicians who maintain the radar, the navigational aids, the communications, automation systems, they're down about 1,000 people across the country. And recently, FAA has finally made a commitment to say, we got to make this technical operations workforce healthy. And as we began to step into this in October 1st, bang, the shutdown hits. And so now people are looking at this, and it's not an appealing line of work anymore. People look at the government and they say, I don't know if I really want to go and do that. And we have people that raise their hand and take an oath. And that's why they're coming in every single day. They took an oath to the American people and nowhere else. And you heard some of the interviews that were happening at the airport. People are saying, hey, I wouldn't do that. And this is a rare form of commitment that we have out of federal public servants who are willing to come in every single day and continue to make this happen while the Congress wrangles through their machinations.
Well, David, I'm so glad you brought up all these other roles that are so vital to the air travel system and others who are impacted by what's happening with the shutdown. Thank you, David Spiro and Julian Keel. You guys appreciate it. I enjoyed that conversation.